Hey, Awesomes, how's it going today? Happy Wednesday to you. It is that time of the week where I give an extension for you to group for Project 3. And I mentioned in the last video that I was thinking about extending Project 3A, the research report, which I am going to do. It'll be probably towards the tail end of next week, give you a little extra time. Since I kind of feel like I got a little behind schedule there with being under the weather last week, so I apologize for that. And I do appreciate your patience, kind words, and everything. So thank you so much. So purpose of this video is to talk about the collaborative research proposal, Project 3A specifically, that you will write with the groups that you have formed, as well as think about all the headings and subheadings and formatting and those kind of things that go for the research proposal, because as it states in the Project 3A assignment description, you can use Markel's Chapter 11, Writing Proposals, as kind of a guide. So I want to just kind of make some things clear for you and kind of make the process as far as formatting and putting it together a little clearer for you. So let's jump right into it here. So I'm going to go down here, and I've got a sample right here that I've done in a Microsoft Word document here. So I want to highlight a few things. So if it wasn't made clear, I want to make sure that it is clear. You write this in a memo fashion to me. And so here's kind of how I would suggest or recommend that you do it. As we've noted, a lot of our genre conventions that we've talked about this semester, this is the genre of the memo. And I'm going to borrow very heavily from the book. All right, so if you want a page reference for where I'm kind of taking a lot of this information from, I am on page 309 of Markel. This is in Chapter 11, Writing Proposals. And he gives us a good, it's a sample internal proposal, right? Since this is kind of internal as well, we can kind of use this. And so I think memo, since we've done memos a few times, and you're going to write another memo, to give us good practice at the memo. So we have memo at the top here, followed by a line space, and then I have date to from subject, and you'll also notice that is exactly as it is in Markel's text. I'm taking the liberty here, though, of putting memo up here in place of having maybe logo or letterhead that is kind of talked about in the book or demonstrated or shown in this example. We're not going to worry about that here. Stick with using our conventions of memo, right? And then I have bolded that, right? And I've also made this Helvetica, right? So it, as it's more of like a heading, acts as a heading. We think about our hierarchy that we learned from Kramer and Bernhardt, right? So that's a sans serif font, and I move back to a serif font here in Times New Roman, where I've also bolded the date, to, from, and subject. And so to kind of follow along a little bit with what Markel talks about and kind of getting at, practice that level of professionalism. Obviously, this is today's date. Your date would obviously be different. You can largely borrow from here, who I am, and a couple of lines of delineating information as to who you're sending it to. And then from would be, you would list all the people in your group, and then maybe followed by your major, your field, something like that to designate, kind of gives your audience an idea of who's put this together, right? And then, of course, your subject would be, and you just enter your problem here, would be blah, 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 research proposal, okay? And then we skip a few lines, and we'll start with our introduction right here. And again, I'm borrowing, again, very heavily. As you'll notice from page 309 in the example, sample internal proposal. So I've got introduction, I've got that centered, as he has it centered. Again, I'm doing the hierarchy here. I'm incorporating a little more hierarchy than Markel does, which I kind of prefer. So we've got this here again, it's Helvetica bold. Skip a line here, all right, and then now we have the body paragraphs of these particular sections, and all these section names and titles that I'm using here, at least with introduction, plan of work, qualifications and experience, and then references, are all right from our Project 3A assignment description, which you'll find on our course website. So, excuse me. So this is where you will address all of the items from Project 3A assignment description located on our course website, right? And I note here the text, if you will, my body paragraphs, right, are also giving you some additional information for this project. All right, so in the introduction, let me expand up here. Let's go to, so I've got the page pulled up here. This is right from the projects page, Project 3A Collaborative Research Proposal. And we go right down here to the introduction, right? So there are 3 bulleted points here of items that it wants you to talk about in your introduction. A draft of a problem statement gives you some ideas and things to think about for that, right? And so I do want to note here that he says you may all consider labeling or categorizing parts of the problem based on your current evaluation techniques or criteria for evaluating the problem. Financial, maybe there's sustainability, staffing, technological improvements, etc. He also notes here problem statements can include subcategories such as criteria, categories, rearranged and updated problem statements if the problem is following your recent report, or incomplete problem statements, different ways that you might want to frame perhaps your problem statement. All right, and then your introduction has a purpose and an audience statement. So it builds what you've learned in the course thus far. And then background on the problem, discussion of your key sources of information, scope and organization of the remaining proposals, kind of like a here's what's to come in a way, and discussion of any keywords or technical terms that you feel are necessary that your audience may or may not may need to know. So let's go back to the sample here, right? So I got to give like an example. Okay, so you get subcategories or a subsection or a subheading. We might refer to them also as next level headings too. So all these kind of terms are perhaps interchangeable in a way. So if you did have something in your introduction where maybe you start off with a statement here and then you wanted to subcategorize or provide some subheadings to help us, help your reader think about the problem, then you could use this kind of formatting, right, for this genre. All right, so recall too, and I'm just going to read this right here, assignment description mentions you may have subcategories for your problem statement, and you may also have subsections within a major section of your proposal, i.e. like in the introduction I'm saying I'm addressing something very specific with my introduction. This provides an opportunity to be in control of the document and help guide your audience or reader while also making your proposal reader-centered and easily navigable. Remember we talked about in Kramer and Bernhardt when they talked about being in control of the document, and we can use a lot of these items, which I'm going to address here in a second, to help our reader. Note that the subcategory, subsections, next level headings is making use of hierarchical structure in which 12-point Times New Roman is used, but it is bolded, as it is a heading, right? Subheading or a next level heading, which we've talked about, but it is also italicized to provide differentiation from the top level section heading, in this case here, from the introduction. Feel free to utilize the structure and continue its consistency throughout the memo. All right, so this is one way that you might think about designing it. Obviously, you wouldn't have subcategory or subsection. This would be a specific category that you might want to then delineate the issues with the problem. Then your next top level heading would be plan of work. Again, here it's the same thing. Address all the items from the Project 3A assignment description. Then I state here, I start right here. Remember, technical communication encompasses a set of activities that people do to discover, to shape, to transmit information. Knowing this, we have the opportunity to help our readers discover the information we are transmitting by utilizing various ways of shaping a document. This includes the use of headings, subheadings, font choice, hierarchy, justification, along with a tempered use of bullet points, indentation, enumeration, and/or figures, charts, graphs, etc. And you'll see that in the sample that's in Markel. He'll talk about using some of these different things. And the reason I say tempered right here, use of these bullet points, is because you don't want every single section to look exactly the same, but you want to bring in those things as they are going to help further whatever it is that you're trying to get across, right? So in your plan of work, you'll have subsections, right? Address the things. So we go over here to the I prefer to call it plan of work. And these are the things right in here, right, that you want to discuss, right? So you may have a subsection for maybe these bullet points that you want to address that's going to make it more easily navigable for your reader, right? So you put those things into play, and then I just kind of demonstrate here the rest of the document, qualifications and experience. Here's where you will address the necessary items from the Project 3 description. There again, you'll have the same, carry forth the same kind of ideas and concepts from up here, right? Single space paragraphs, Times New Roman. You can utilize next level headings, right, to help you address things, right, to be in control of the document, to navigate. And then If you have any references, you should have a references section, as I did here, right? Because I referenced the, right here, Mark L. 2006, right? Because I quoted his definition of technical communication, so I have a references page in APA format in this particular case. All right. All right, so a little over 10 minutes. Didn't want this, for this video to go this long, but I wanted to make sure and give you all that you needed for formatting and putting this together. All right. I'll give you a specific date for when this will be due. It'll be due next, let's shoot for probably next Sunday. Let's do that. Okay? All right, guys. If you have a most wonderful day, please let me know if there's anything more I can do for you. Don't forget my office hours. If my office hours don't work, you just reach out to me via email, and I will make a time happen for you. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.